Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be doing Brittany's nails once again. I know y'all love her as much as I do. So getting started, we are going in with our dehydrator, and then I'm going to be going in with primer as well. I completely forgot to record the prep process. I was just so into it and excited to see her that I completely forgot to hit record. So I apologize for that once I realized it. It was a little too late. I was already done with all that process. So we're getting right into the final prep portion, which is the dehydrator and primer. For those both, I am using a not polished dehydrator, and this primer is from Kiara Sky since it is HEMA free. Now, do note that we do minimal prep when it comes to Brittany's nails because she does have an allergic reaction to something. I think we have figured out that it is HEMA, but she's still really scared for me to touch her cuticles. So if y'all are like, why are her cuticles not done? It is her choice and her preference. So don't come at me for that. We are simply prepping her natural nail and leaving her skin alone. Now, right into our acrylic application, we're going to be doing a very quick fill on this. Since her nails are long, we're also going to be slightly rebalancing her nail, which essentially means we're going to be adding a little bit of acrylic wherever we think is necessary to get that same shape that we originally started with. So you'll see me here putting a medium bead of acrylic near her cuticle, pushing it upwards while holding the finger downwards. And then we're going to blend that down. But I'm also going to be taking a small bead as well and placing it near or under the apex and kind of just blending it upwards, blending it down as well so that it all flows perfectly. Typically, whenever the nail starts growing out, the original apex that you placed to begin with the fresh set of nails is a lot higher. So as it starts growing out, it starts moving downwards, which means you got to rebalance it. Otherwise, your apex is going to be all sorts of messed up and it's going to be easier for them to break their nails, especially when they have really long nails like Brittany does. So you'll see me kind of adding acrylic here and there wherever I feel it needs a little bit more stability or a little bit more thickness. So again, medium-sized bead, we're placing it near the cuticle, pushing it upwards, and then I'm going to very, very quickly with a very light motion and very light pressure, feathering it downwards, blending it down, as simple and easy as that. Always remember to focus on your acrylic application when it comes to doing nails, but also to get your acrylic application perfectly, you want to make sure that your liquid to powder ratio is on the dot. Otherwise, it's going to be spilling everywhere, or it's going to be too dry to where you cannot move it as quickly as I am. So that is always key. If you see other creators doing nails and you're like, why is it so easy for them? We probably have our liquid to powder ratio down perfectly to our liking, and we're able to really work with that perfectly. As always, if you are new here, definitely go check out all of my other playlists. I do have tons of different videos depending on whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, and I do always try to break down all of my videos as best as possible. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Now, if you are curious as to what color we are using on her nails, I took a mixture of a clear acrylic and a natural milky white acrylic. I'll leave both linked down below, but I don't remember specifically what the names were. But I got my lightest milky white with some clear, mixed it together until she approved the color. I always do that because a client can tell you they want a purple, show you a picture, and it looks completely different. So I always make sure that I just check with them and verify that they do like the color we're about to place on their nails, because I promise you nothing is worse than getting done and them hating the color. So we're going to go in now once everything is nice and dry, and I'm going to go ahead and file the surface very lightly. We're doing very minimal amount of filing. I'm pretty much focusing on the area where I did my fill. So that is the cuticle area. We want to seal it. Make sure that that acrylic is nice and flush to the natural nail so that it grows out nicely. You prevent lifting, and it just looks a lot better and a little bit more natural. Even though her nails are super, super long, it makes it just look like it's growing out of the cuticle area instead of it just laying on top. If you know, you know, it is not cute when it's just nice big blob on there. Now I'm going to go in and refine her stiletto shape. We like them long, super skinny, and super sharp. So I'm taking my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file. If you are an OG viewer of mine, you know these are my go-to files. I very rarely use any other ones. These are just my favorite. They're super sturdy. You can easily sanitize them, and they're just everything that you would need in a hand file. I'm going to go ahead and file both of the sides, making sure that I'm not over filing one side or the other. And again, we're trying to make it super, super sharp while not making it too prone to breakage. So that's why it's very important to create a perfect thickness throughout the whole nail. Again, just going to go ahead on both sides and file it nicely, making sure we're reshaping that from her original set, as they do get worn down and a little bit rounded at the tip from normal wear and tear. Now I'm going to be going in with a buffer and just lightly buffing the surface of the nail. These are from Profiles Backstage. And then I'm going to be going in and cleansing the surface just with a lint-free wipe and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe. You can always have your client also wash their hands. Very important to just do a nice little rinse with oil-free soap if you can, if not just water, because we don't want to add any oils back into the nail, especially before any nail art application. Now is when I'm going in with my lint-free wipe and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe. I prefer to do this method because it keeps the client in the chair. Now, unless they need to use the restroom or just take a quick little stretch, I will have them go wash their hands. But again, I try to keep them in the chair as much as possible. That way we get the time moving and rolling and we're not here forever. Now, for her nail art, if you saw the thumbnail, they are very much so different on both hands. So I'm starting off with this hand. We're going to be doing a beautiful checkered nail. If you know me, I am obsessed with checkered print. I don't know what it is, not quite sure what attracts me to it, but I think it is so cute no matter what color combo you do. I just think it's so adorable. So when she showed me that she wanted checkered print, I said, yes, please. And I got so excited because white and black is not typically the color combo that people choose. It's always different colors. So this is your basic checkered print now. I'm going to be starting off with a white base. You can do black or white, whichever you feel more comfortable with doing line art. You want to do the opposite as your base. Now, typically if I was starting from scratch and doing her nails as a full set, I would have started with an acrylic base in white. That way you get the color out of the way, it lasts a little bit longer, and you're not having to layer too much gel products on top of the surface. It's essentially like double the process that you're doing, and my clients are very much so used to doing colored acrylics, so that is always something that I do give them the option. But because we were doing a fill, I made sure and I checked with her if she would be okay with me doing the rest of it in gel polish, and she agreed, so that's why we're going in with gel polish. But it's not my favorite. I don't know what it is. I think I'm just used to acrylic, but definitely not my first choice, other than the white being so vibrant, because in colored acrylic I feel like it's not super bright white. So do note that there's tons of differences, and depending on what your preference is, you want to go with either way. So this white gel polish is from Profiles Backstage. It is one of my favorite. I always recommend their gel polishes for colors like this. They have their primary color line. I'm not quite sure what the color line is called, but their White Magic and Black Magic are so good. So those are probably the two that I'm going to be using. I am going in with the white first, curing that in the light for a full 60 seconds. And you'll notice me leaving the thumb blank because we're going to be doing a different design on that one. So I am only doing white base on these 4 fingers, popping that in the light. And then I actually did 2 coats of that white to get it super opaque and vibrant. And I cured it in the light once again, and now we're going in with our checkered print. So I am using a combination of that black Magic Gel Polish. I mixed in a little bit of Vita Bella black gel paint, and I'm using my long liner from Vita Bella as well. And we're going to be doing long lines. First of all, y'all see me struggling doing this simple line. I don't know what it was with me that day, but I could not get this line straight. So I ended up giving up, just did the best that I could. And we're actually going in with a 3D brush and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe to clean the rest of it up and try to get it as straight as possible. I did a lot better on the other ones, but I don't know what it was with that specific line. It was not working out. So what you want to do your checkered print as easy as possible is you're going to be doing vertical lines depending on how many squares you want to do and how thick you want them. Usually my go-to is 2 lines down the sides of the nail, and I try to space them out as best as possible, but it can be tricky, especially with stiletto nails. So we're going in with vertical lines, as many as you want, again, as close together as you want or as far apart as you want. And then we're going to go in horizontal lines, as you see me doing here. And those are also going to try to make them as cohesive as possible so that the squares are actual squares and not rectangles. Some of mine were looking a little wonky, but you get the gist of it. So we're going to do that all the way down to the tip of the nail. All of our horizontal lines are going to be as best as we can, the same width and the same height. Now that we're done with our vertical lines and our horizontal lines, you're going to pick whatever square you want to infill first, but it is important that you pay attention to the pattern that you are doing, because I remember when I first started doing it, I would get so confused, and it is not that hard. It really isn't. Sometimes we just get distracted and start filling in whatever square we feel like it. So for this specific nail, I started with the second one in the middle row, straight in the middle, filled that in, and then you want to do the opposite on the line above and the line, or the row above and the row below. So you see the row above now is going to be the 2 little triangle looking squares, and then again the bottom row we're going to infill the same. So you pretty much want to skip every row that you do. You're going to do the opposite on the other one, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm making it a little bit more complicated. You see what I'm doing on the screen, do that. Don't listen to what I'm saying, because I think I'm just getting everybody confused. So we're going to go ahead and infill. A nice little tip and trick is always use either the bristle brush of your gel polish color or even a 3D brush to kind of infill the majority of the square, and then go in with a liner and just infill around to get it nice and crisp. I am actually using the micro detail brush from Vita Bella. I find that those brushes are really good for picking up a good glob of gel polish or gel paint, whatever you're using. But it's so tiny that it allows you to still move it in the exact area that you want it to go. So I'm able to cover the majority of the portion that I want to infill while very, very precisely getting it into those little corners of our square. So this is one of my favorite brushes to do that with, especially when it comes to checkered print. Now we're going to be swapping to the other hand. Now we're going to be switching over to the other hand. If you guys are familiar with my process, I always work on one hand, pop it in the light. While that one is curing, I'm going to be working on the other one. So my girl, I originally wanted ombre glitter sparkles, and then when she saw this color, she fell in love and said slather it on the entire nail. So that is exactly what we did. It is such a pretty color, and I love like the iridescent, super beautiful shift in color from like purpley pink to that yellowy gold. I think it's just so stunning when the light hits it perfectly. Look how stunning that looks. So we're going to go ahead and add a thin layer of this on all of her 4 fingers on this hand, and then again pop it in the light for a full 60 seconds. I'm gonna let you guys kind of just see the process of doing this nail. Since I kind of did try my best to explain how to do checkered print, I feel like it's so much satisfying. I feel like it's super satisfying to see the process just come together, especially with these type of designs. So I'm gonna allow y'all to just watch and learn, and I'm gonna be quiet. I love me a good mix match set. It's just my favorite, especially when they're two completely different sets. It shows how much creativity and the love for different things somebody has. So I got so excited when she said, I want to do eggs on my nails. I was like, yes, those are so cute. And not only that, but this is such an easy design to do. It took me pretty much like no time to create this. So first I'm going to go in with my Oopsie brush from Vita Bella, and I'm using the pointed side because it still gives you that precision that you need to create crisp lines around the edges. But the thickness allows you to pick up a lot more paint and just do it all in one go. So absolutely loved using this one for this specific design. Even if you're doing clouds, this is one of my favorite brushes to do those type of designs with. So I'm going to go in with my little blobs of white for the egg yolks, for the egg whites. And we're going to go in and really just do two per nail. And I'm trying to kind of make them a little bit different, all of them, because you never get the same egg over and over again, if you know what I mean. So we're going to go in and just add those on all of the nails. I'm making sure that I'm trying to do a nice thin layer of this and get those blobs on there perfectly. And then we're going to cure in the light for a full 60 seconds. Super, super simple first step of our egg design. Now that this is all finished up, we're going to go in the light for a full 60 seconds. I did go ahead and finish off the checkered print on the other hand while it was curing, but we're going to go in now with our egg yolk. This is such a cute yellow. I believe it is one of the liners from Not Polish if I remember correctly, and it matched perfectly to what I would have wanted to mix anyways, so I just went ahead and grabbed that. And we are just doing a simple circle. If you have dotting tools, 10 out of 10 recommend using that. I have yet to own dotting tools, so shame on me because my life would be a lot easier, especially doing nail art if I had some. But y'all know I like to be a little bit more complicated, so we are going in with the micro detail brush from Veeda once again, doing a little circle and filling that, and we're just going to repeat on all of these 4 nails. Again, curing in the light for a full 60 seconds. Now for the thumbs on both hands, we're going to be doing kind of like an aura ombre in the center type of design. I wasn't like too super ombre with it. I kind of just wanted the green on there in the center. And I did 2 coats of this. This is a lime green gel polish, and this little sponge tool is from Profiles Backstage. Now, looking at this design, I totally 100% should have done the cherries a lot bigger just because it is a larger nail surface that I'm trying to kind of do the nail art on. One, I had the space. 2, it kind of looks a little bit off once it's done for my liking and my preference. So do note that I wasn't fully 100% convinced with this one, and I think I could have done a little bit better had I paid a little bit more attention while doing it. But honestly, it turned out kind of cute, so just size difference kind of bugged me a little bit. We're going to be doing our little cherries in black, and they're going to be 8 balls. So we are starting off with that as our base, and I'm just using that same concoction of black gel polish and the Veeda gel paint in black, mixed together with my micro detail brush from Veeda, and we're going to be drawing those little cherries, and then I'm going to be doing the stems, a leaf, also in black. And then again, popping that in the light, and then I went ahead and did the other hand. I'm going to go in with white once the black is cured, and we're going to be doing a little ball right in the center just in white, and then curing that in the light for again a full 60 seconds. And then while holding my breath and being super still, I did the tiniest little 8s in the center of that. Now the egg hand is completely finished, so we're going to go in and add our top coat. I have been using the acrylic top coat. The acrylic top coat from Kiara Sky, again, because it's HEMA free. I would typically suggest for such light nails to use a stain resistant top coat. So if you know of any that does not have HEMA in it, let your girl know down below in the comment section, because I would be more than happy to purchase that so that I can use specifically on Brittany's nails, since she does smoke and they are prone to stain with that. So I'm going to go ahead and add that thin layer on the entire surface of her nails, and then we're going to be curing that in a full 60 seconds in the light. And if you are like me, I try to do 2 rounds just to be safe. Now to finalize our checkered print nails, we're going in with some neon lime yellow flames. I will not lie to you. For whatever reason, flames have always been my worst enemy. They always look to me as if they are claws, specifically crab claws, and I cannot unsee it whenever I do it, but they look like the flame that I'm trying to copy off of an image. So it confuses me very much so because it does not look like that on the image that I'm looking at. But on the nail, it always looks like a crab claw to me. Let me know if you're the same way, but it irks me, it bothers me. Also, let me know if you have any tips of how to avoid them looking like that, because I don't know what it is. They look like flames, but they look more like crab claws to me. And it irks me. So we're going to go in with the large flame in the center, and I'm going to bring it down towards the tip. I will say this is a little bit tricky since her nails are stiletto and there's such a small surface down at the tip, but we made it work. We're going to be connecting all of those lines and then infilling the rest of the tip. I also think that I should have gone in with 2 coats of this yellow just to brighten it up more and conceal the little black spots that you can kind of see here and there through the thin yellow green gel polish. So do note that I think I should have done 2 coats, or even maybe just added some neon pigment color over top of this, and it would have made it a lot more opaque so that you could really see the flames against that very pretty background. Now that we are all done with our flames, I'm going to go ahead and cure that in the light for a full 60 seconds. Once that's dry, I'm going in with, again, the same top coat and adding a thin layer of that on all of her nails and then popping it back in the light for a full 60 seconds. You can do 2 rounds just to be safe. But that pretty much concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a ton, and I'll see you guys next time.